Alright. Add, I guess? Try this. Oh, that's to watch. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing. This isn't normally through OBS or anything. Oh, that's too much. There we go. Add as guest. Adding. There we go. I got dual screens there.
Son of a bitch. What the hell? I didn't get that feature on this piece of crap area.
That's what I get.
Alright.
Right. Higher technology.
They got... Yeah, that seems about right. They got higher technology and
More
colony Saratoga. Yeah.
Yep.
So
please lead the conversation.
Oh yes, because I always talk and
Yes. Oh, friggin' blabbermouth.
yes I am. Why I talk so much that when I go to work on my days off and talk to other workers, they get in trouble and I get in trouble even though I'm not on the clock.
You
The manager walks
I get in trouble.
and says, hey,
Word.
yes, yeah, because he says buy something or leave. I said, I don't buy shit from Walmart. Okay, so I promised myself I would ask you this question.
Oh god, here we go.
Yes. So you're still playing the drums, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what drummer influences do you have that's I guess made you continue the beat, you know?
It's a good question. Well, I originally started out probably because two of my friends at the time were drummers. My neighbor and this one guy I went to school with. They kind of helped get me into it unknowingly. And then through that, just walk away.
I apologize. I'm still listening.
Sure you are. So that helped me get into it. And then I just naturally discovered, obviously, more professional people along the way. Yeah, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along.
Cool. I think you had told me at one time that you don't have a specific favorite drummer, and is that true, or?
Yeah. I don't really, there's no one I look up to in particular. Just, you know, my mood kind of changes with that as well. Kind of go back and forth, but there's no one like specific in mind.
I mean, I'm the type of person that like I'll like certain drummers, and then I'll discover like a song, like one song per maybe 10, 20 different artists that I really like the drums on, but it could be the only song I heard from the group, but would consider that I like the drummer, but haven't taken the time to listen to an entire album or more than one song. Are you similar to that, or are you more of like, oh, I just like the drum track itself because you don't know for a fact if the drummer always plays that way? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain bands out there where the like an art like the guitarist or drummer, they'll do something that's out of the ordinary, but then the other songs aren't like that, you know. Like I could probably think of a couple off the bat that make sense, I guess. Like drummers that I like are because if I listen to an album, they're, you know, do some things that keeps me interested in the beat, I guess. Like obviously I like Neil Peart from Rush, and I like I won't list more names, but I'll say the band name so it makes it easier. The guy from the Jimi Hendrix Experience, I like some of his stuff. I did like the drummer in Muse, and I know the Black Dahlia Murder, they had a pretty good drummer there. But do you like, are you the type of person that likes one specific drum track and then judges the drummer after that, or do you listen to an entire album or a set of songs before you drum that, or before you judge that drummer? I don't know if I'm making any sense, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't think it really matters who's on the drums. I think if the song's structured, you know, in an interesting way, it's gonna, you know, appeal to me regardless of who's behind the kit or who isn't, you know. There's definitely some people who you can tell will take an older song and kind of put a new spin on it. I guess, for example, well, not so much. Well, I guess I don't know. It's not so much who's really behind it, but who, I guess, kind of mixes it up a bit. Because I know from listening to past recordings or live performances, back when Joey was still with Slipknot, he would basically play the song straightforward, and then more throughout the years, he would add, he would mix it up a bit. He would add things that weren't necessarily on the original album track. He would add, he'd add more fills. You know, just mix it up and kind of make it a little more interesting. And sometimes I like that. Sometimes I think it's a little bit overkill. And then there's drummers who like after Joey left, Jay Weinberg took over, and he obviously, you know, he's not playing directly from, you know, copying directly from, you know, whatever album or song it is. He's mixing it up and changing it a bit. It's still the same song, you know, that he's playing, but obviously he's doing his own thing to it and making it kind of his own, but still following the basic pattern. So I think also it goes in just with years of how long that song or how long that band's been around, because after a while people are just going to do more, they're going to change it up. They're going to go straight forward with it. They're going to add little things here and there just to kind of keep it interesting. So
yeah. Now, getting back to how, you know, you don't really have a favorite drummer. A lot of musicians have that song or album that has, in their words, changed their life or inspired them the most to go and want to play an instrument or do something. You know, like I listened to a few different songs that really put me in a spot where I said, okay, I really want to do this, you know, not make a career out of it, but just like want to go and practice the instrument, play it. You know, made me want to go and do that. I guess, like, as an example, I guess I want to say that uh, I I think let's put Nirvana there. Let's put Kurt Cobain. I think that he had mentioned that when he heard Iggy Pop's The Stooges release Raw Power, I believe that was the album title. I know it's a song. I think it was the title of the album. He claimed that that was an album that changed his life. You know, I like Muse, as I mentioned many times before, and Matt Bellamy there stated that after listening to a opera from Hector Berlioz, forget what year this was. I want to say it was early 1900s. He claimed that that was what changed his life and got him into the musician that he is today. Do you have something like that before you got started playing drums? Was there, something you heard, or, because I know you said that. Sorry, I know you said that it was I'm trying to remember now. Your cousins, right? Was it your cousins you were talking about, or your friends? Or trying to remember, trying to back pace here.
Probably both.
That made you think. What's that?
It was probably both.
Okay, all right. But was there something that was it after hearing them it changed your life to want to play drums, or was it a specific song, or what? Because I think that I think that you're a one of a kind drummer when it comes to the fact that you don't really put someone as your main influence. You kind of lead that, and it's not difficult, but it's also, in my opinion, it's rare to find musicians that are inspired by their own standing ground. They don't really look for instance. They may like things, but it doesn't mean that they're looking for that. They're just sort of like, oh, that's cool, but I play my own song, I play my own beat, and that to me is a bit difficult to come by.
Yeah. I think for me, well, I found out, well, especially my cousin, she was, I don't think I really knew she was in a band before. I think it was like kind of after the fact I picked up drums. But kind of when the whole ball on this started rolling was back when I don't know when it was, like early 2003, I want to say. A couple of my friends and I tried to start our first band, which obviously didn't go anywhere. And at the time we were, well, at least for me, I was listening to a copy of Ozfest 2001. And that's kind of what got me wanting the whole, just that whole experience of, being on stage and, playing live. That's kind of what I was shooting for. Obviously, I think at the time we didn't realize, I guess, at least for me, I didn't realize how much of a struggle being a musician can be. I think in all our hype and glory, we figured, all right, we're gonna come up with a band, and in a month we're gonna have a whole album or whatever, or in a ridiculous short amount of time, and I think at least for me, I thought, I was in the mindset of like, this is our ticket to get somewhere, like, playing some big place, kind of like Ozfest. Like this is our ticket to Ozfest, basically. So I think that's kind of one of the goals that we were shooting for, at least for me.
Yeah.
because I'd seen
Yeah, I mean, I
the pictures of all the bands having fun on stage, and I heard the album and everything, and it's like that's the experience I want.
yeah. But the thing is that when you look at any band, there's in my opinion, there's usually I can't say for nowadays, but I know back then it was like a bit of a while before they got to their first album, if I were so to speak. Um, I know, like, I know when Judas Priest started, because they're the first to think of, they formed in '69, but didn't have a first album until '74. When the Beatles started, they started in 1958, but didn't have their first album until '63. So it's ironically, I think that's about the same amount of time span there, which was totally unintentional. I know when Muse started, I think they started in 1994. Didn't have their first album until '99. And then getting back to how you said that, you guys have these high expectations and like, oh, we're going to do this and this and this. I had spent a good majority of my life working on ideas for songs and how I want them to sound, rewriting lyrics and rewriting album ideas, and still have, as I shared with you before, I still have those 12 ideas I wanted to work on very slowly. But it became to a point where it's like, I would do it in the time that I could do it, and the time I could do it could take a while. We're talking like, in an impatient level, it would be like a year, but something that would be worth it would be 4 years at least. Because I looked at songs and I was like, I'm the one writing the lyrics and how I want it to sound. How I want it to sound is difficult enough creating that, because what's in here doesn't mean that I'm musically intelligent to get it out in the open. So it goes into like, okay, we got like 24 different songs. We cut that in half and have 12 main songs on an album, plus with all the extra songs I wanted to record. So let's take the 12 songs. Then every song we have to worry about, okay, we got vocals and vocal harmonies. I just list that as one. The bass guitar, the lead guitar, the rhythm guitar. If I want to add an acoustic guitar, I have that in there. And then the acoustic guitar spans into a 12-string guitar or a classical guitar, just a regular acoustic guitar. Drums, do I want piano in there, and how do I want that to sound? Then it goes into, if it was a song that I wanted to add more instruments in, like an orchestra or, a sitar or something, or I don't know, a banjo or whatever, because I'm very open-minded with music. Then you realize that's like, it's very time consuming and will cost you a lot all on your own. What's that?
Oh, because you're adding more layers to it.
Yeah, adding more layers. And then and the worst part that I have about making music isn't the fact that I can come up with something that I'll enjoy. It's really the timing thing is what I get lost on. That's really what it is with me. It's like, if I'm, especially with singing, I find that I have to really focus on. But if I'm going to, and maybe I don't have the right equipment to do this stuff with, but if I go and record a guitar track and I want to add another guitar track, I gotta make sure I got the timing right, because if I don't, I screw it up and I have to keep going back to the point where I just say, I can't do it.
No, it's I know what you mean. It's like I made a couple of years ago. I just made this one little track with that little what's it called? Paper Jams. The little fake guitar.
Yeah.
I did that. I made a guitar track with that, and then I had drums on top of that, and that was a nightmare to sync those two up, because I was sitting there for, I don't know, who knows how long, because I figured, all right, I had the drums in my head, so I recorded those, and now I have to have painstakingly sync the guitar track up with the drums, so I'm playing along with the drum track or the drum video, and I had to do that about who the hell knows how long. But that was a pain in the ass because I would get part of it right and then screw up part of it and then have to redo it all over again, and especially I was going off of like in my head without a metronome, so that was probably making things a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I think, and plus, I'm not really used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, that's another difficulty. Whereas some of my other friends who have been musicians for a while, they can come up with a song within an hour. And for me, it takes a little longer just because, I'm not used to it. And plus, I'm probably working my brain into overtime because I'm trying to, do everything myself pretty much. Because I don't know, I guess I have the idea that if I add one too many cooks in the kitchen, that's going to screw things up. Because obviously I've seen things other than music where that'll happen, I mean, a lot of the time with movies, you got independent filmmakers who their film has like a cult following or whatever because, they did it their way. Whereas, one of these studio produced movies, you got one too many people giving their opinion, and then all of a sudden, a sequel comes out for a series or whatever, and yeah, you got another movie, but everyone hates it.
Yeah.
It's like professionally made, but the storyline sucks, the actors suck, everyone had good intentions, but it was just nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Or they rushed into it too fast, or they didn't. It was good up until a certain point, or whatever. So I think, I see it the same as music, And the thing is, you're not going to know that you're doing a good job, or that anyone's going to like it, for that matter, until you release it out into the public and get everyone else's opinion. Because a lot of the time, goes back to the whole you're your own worst enemy, or you're your own critic, I guess. And people's, you may hate a song, but everyone else loves it. I know when I just a couple weeks ago I saw Larry Campbell and what's his name? Wow, Dave Brownberg at the Egg, and there was a part where Larry he was doing one of his songs. And he told the audience ahead of time, like, look, there's a part in this song where I hate it. I wish I never wrote it. And it's painful for me to play it. And, he got to that part, and the whole audience cheered, and he's like, you guys actually like that? So, I thought that was pretty funny. Like, again, I was hearing that for the first time, so, I didn't see any problem putting my mindset, or putting me in the mind of, okay, this is, like, would I be comfortable playing this night after night after night? And I didn't really have a problem with it, he obviously did, but, it's not my song, so.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see a problem with it.
No. That reminds me, there's songs that bands will make that are really good and really popular, and you come to find out that the band actually hated that song.
Yeah.
Maybe at the time they liked it, but I know Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses is a very popular song with the band, but I know I can't say the entire band, but I know Slash had stated that he hated the song itself, which surprised me because I thought it was an alright song.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised, you know. I mean, and it goes into other things like on my poetry site I have that where I share poems and whatnot. I've been taking a hiatus from it, so I haven't really posted any poems on there, and I should be able to tell you. Oh yeah, October 3rd was the last time I even posted something on here. And I had a couple times where the creator of the site would handpick one of my poems to be represented.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it really brought numbers up, and even though I haven't wrote anything on here in a while, if I go to my inbox, it shows me where my rank is for the whole time I'm on here, you know, all together, and compared to 500,000 users, I'm at rank 810.
Oh, nice.
You know, yeah, so it really means a lot to me. But when he first picked a poem out, because he did this twice. The first time he did one, I got the message and said, "I'd like to let you know that I chose your poem." It was a poem called the Industrial Giant and the Electric Crown. Now, I honestly thought it was one of the worst poems I ever wrote. I didn't understand. Out of all the poems I wrote, I was confused. I didn't say this because, number one, I knew he wouldn't respond, and number two, I wanted to take it as an appreciative blessing nonetheless. But in my own perspective of criticism for my literature, I thought to myself, it's a good poem, but I don't think it's a great poem. I mean, out of all the poems I wrote, that's the one that he chooses.
Yeah.
But it did get my name out there nonetheless as far as it could. Develop some fans along the way. But then later on, I wrote this one poem called Dance of the Dark Queen. And I wrote that. I want to say this was August that I wrote it, at least. I was up here in Saratoga. I, just moved not that long ago, and I hadn't wrote dark poems in a while. I used to write these really detailed dark poems that were really crazy and out there. I haven't done it in a while. I haven't really done one that was so deep and in a way meaningful since I was at least 15 years old, maybe even 18 years old. Actually, when I was about 17, 18, now I think about it. So I said, you know what? I get influenced by music when I write poetry. Let's listen to some Megadeth. And I said, I wonder if I can listen to a few songs and take inspiration from lyrics that they have and write my own poems based off of these songs. So I went and did that and made this entire big poem about this evil queen that it's really like a symbol of the Reaper. She's like the equivalent of the devil sort of business, and I went to post it, and not long after, I had got the word that the creator went and put that poem again on, the best poems of the week sort of thing. And to this day is actually the most popular poem I ever wrote. It has almost all together, because I don't really get a lot of views on my poems, but altogether for this one, it's got an exact number of 871 views, because I'm actually on it right now. In a way, it's depressing that my most popular poem is a dark and twist one, because I tried to write so many positive poems that were much detailed as well.
Yeah.
But that's what I get for being influenced by Edgar Allan Poe to start writing poetry anyway. Actually, since I have this in front of me, because I didn't even know if I showed you this, could I read it to you?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. Yeah, so this is from their vote, the most popular one I wrote on here. So, um, and I know that you would probably enjoy it since you're a Satan kind of guy. All right. So, Dance of the Dark Queen. Her majestic mind of assassination, sent to murder all with a flawless kiss. Her blackened wave of destruction, a sympathy for black magic I'll never miss. A blitzkrieg raining from beyond the dark skies, gray clouds of storms, blood-red skies. A dark horizon of crimson stars in the night, she's a brutal sword ready to take your life. A lady in red walking all alone, a sentence of death's right. She'll turn your heart to stone cold and shatter your dreams of your optimistic life. With all the satanic mythology you ignore, she'll be the darkest demons of your nightmares. A sleepwalker of a depression you can't afford, leading you into a suicidal trance of despair. Flying high on vengeance, taking upon her endless hex, she's a witch of warcraft and a goddess of genocide. The frantic, mindless zombies and cyborgs corrupt your head as you follow fallen angels in the right hand of her might, leading you through lost fairy tales of darkness, turned into atheistic realms of dark peace, or dark space. There's no escape from her madness, your soul she will erase. Sitting on her throne of darkness with deadly eyes of retribution, her blackened heart filled with sadness, and revenge comes in connection. There's a cathedral of darkness where organ pipes play in silent oppression, and the Pied Piper plays flawless as he dances under puppet strings of depression. Don't ever catch her in the ritual where she'll summon the devil's dance, in the pentagram where all demons call to war cry of tormented trance. Black magic and megalomania, mind of insanity through hysteria, she's the murder of my mind. Generating all to ashes and dust, she'll lay mankind to rest with the haunted presence of lust. As the flames arise, she'll light the candles for the darkest god, as she rains hurricanes from the sky and strikes down you all with the lightning rod. She's an illusion of the darkest dementia, a faded star from the curse upon astronomy, where when we're lost in the presence of hysteria, the Dark Queen will dance to her sonic screams. I actually, for once, actually appreciated that one, because that actually wrapped up a lot of what was in my mind about negative things and put it all into one twisted dark fantasy thing. What did you think?
Yeah, it was good. Sounds like my kind of gal.
That's right. I don't know what you would name her, but she's there.
Yeah. I think, if you write something and you get, whether it be negative or positive, I think if you get a lot of response to it, I think, you're onto something.
Yeah, I think so too. For that one, I didn't really get any negative comments. But if I post the poem, I'll get one comment that talks about how I capitalize every word in my poems, which I don't understand why that matters, but you'd be surprised. But I would always just ignore it. I think at one time, I actually, now it's rare with me because I'm trying to be very kind, but I think at one time I was so aggravated that I kept hearing it that I eventually told another user to fuck off. Because you hear it so many times, and then you get annoyed, and you keep saying in one of your poems, okay, I don't want to hear this question again. Then you realize that you have to explain your whole story and reasoning into why you write this way to like 200 different users, because that one didn't read the last one you posted about that, and so on, and you're like, oh my god. Then you just start ignoring the questions eventually. You're like, that's what I do. I just ignore it.
Yeah, I've seen that with a lot of people where, again, they just, whatever it is that, that they're doing, they get asked the same question over and over again. I've seen that, like, for actors with their, they go on panels or whatever. a lot of people ask them the same questions over and over again. Same with musicians or just anybody that is popular enough to have a panel at some place or whatever, or But yeah, I know what you mean about the whole poetry thing, about how you haven't been on it, but you still get, notifications or whatever. Same thing like with my YouTube channel. I haven't posted anything in, oh God, a while. And I'm still getting like subscribers every now and then. And I'm like, I haven't done shit in a while. Like, why are you subscribing to me? I mean, I'd like to start it up, but it's like, if you're expecting something to come out, next week or tomorrow, you're going to be waiting for a while.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, the same thing with my Twitch channel. I mean, the only reason I don't do that more so is because my internet here sucks, and I have to look into that and see if I can get something better, or get a better deal or whatever. Because I can't run everything with the speed that I'm at, because it pretty much gives my router and my laptop here a heart attack. But yeah, I'm like the only GoodBen on Twitch that has the most followers, which was kind of one of those like little mini goals that I was shooting for, which I've hit. I forget. I think I have like 8 followers or something, and before it was like me and this other person were at like 2 and 2 or something, or 3 and 3 or whatever it was. But I have more followers now, and I mean, I don't have much of an audience each time, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So something better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think that oh, I thought I could do that. All right. Well, I think that we should wrap this up. I think we had a pretty decent conversation, if you don't mind.
No, I do mind. I mind very much. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay. See you later.
Good night, everyone. I'll leave too. I know I can't leave. This is my call.
I didn't make the video. You did. I can't even. Here, I'll give you a thumbs up.
All right. Well, we'll probably maybe try something like this another time. I don't know. Can't make it.
All right, we'll go grab your guitar or something. Play a little jam.
Play us out, Johnny. That was horrible.